And we're live.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect and how it affects them and the price of milk. Thank you.
No, I don't take. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Yes, hey guys, good evening and welcome to the channel. We're discussing Mandela effects. It's great to have everyone here tonight. Good to see you. Y'all are doing great. We've got 3 so far. Let's get those viewers up, okay, guys? Get the word out. We're a day early. Normally we do our show on Saturdays. We've shifted through the quantum to Fridays. So we are now broadcasting on Friday nights. It seems to work out for most people. Hopefully you can catch it when it's live. If not, you could always catch it later, watch it later through YouTube. But yeah, so we're going to start tonight. We've got plenty of effects to cover. The first one's going to be Jeff's. Is that right, Jeff? Is this one yours?
Yeah, we have some more residue for it that we didn't have before.
Oh, wow.
We talked about it previously.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why
Can
we're
you read
showing
that?
it again.
Let me see if I can make it larger. Okay.
All right. Credit Jeff Zanzibar. Famous wrestler's name was different for a time for Jeff, and he wants to know if anyone remembers seeing his name like he did. Please fill in the last name of the wrestler, Hulk Hogan.
I don't know, but he encouraged me to always eat my Flintstones vitamins when I was a kid. Did he ever do that with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back, I don't know, before it seemed like the Mandela effect. That's another thing with Flintstones. It's flip flopped, right? Where it was Flint, then it was Flynn, and then it went back to Flint or something.
Yeah.
We see that a lot in the Mandela effect. So, what do you guys remember? Was it Hulk Hogan or Hogan? Which one is it? What do you remember?
For me, it was both from 1985 to 1989, and then it was just Hogan, but it was both, 2 spellings. Mostly on the toys is where I first saw it, different, and they said it that way in the show as well, sometimes.
Okay, let me read from the chat. Let's see. Welcome. Let me do some shout outs here too while we're at it. So we got Manned Animals here. Sandy, I see you're in the chat. Let's see, Super Mario Brothers 3.
He's still in New Jersey.
Here. Bragami Mikado. Teresa's there. Hey, Teresa. Good to see you. Good to have you there. Yeah, Teresa, watch out and use that wrench, okay, if you have to. Analog Lime is here. See, Diesel in New Jersey, welcome. Antony Domini, welcome. Benjamin's Betrayal, welcome. Good to have you. Truth Seekers here. Okay, all right. So we got 24 watching. Let's get those numbers up. All right, Hulk. So I saw some answers in the chat. A lot of you had said Hogan.
Yeah.
Analog Ron says Hogan and Holgan with the O. Hol with the OLGAN.
It was always Hogan for me, but it was also something else at the same time for those 4 or 5 years, whatever it was.
Okay. During what time frame would you say was Hogan?
Jeff, from 85 to 89, it was 2 different names he used. Hogan and another one.
Yeah. All right, we're ready to move to the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff has seen his name spelled two ways: Hogan, like it is now, but also I have a strong memory of Hulk Hogan, Hulgan. Does anyone else remember Hogan?
Kind of remember like Hogan. I just don't remember how it's spelled, but that
Well,
doesn't look
And I
like.
also remember thinking it was like Hulk.
Mhm.
I don't know. You know what is weird, Jeff. But when I see it like it is, like how you have it here,
Mm-hmm.
with the, I do kind of feel like I remember it like that. I mean, oh my goodness, Hulk
Yeah, a
Hogan.
couple people when they see it, it triggers their memory, and they remember it that way as well. But also the
Yeah,
way it is now, like I
it's
do.
see the way I see the Mandela effect. It's like you see, you know, those hidden pictures where you see the young lady on one side, but then if you flip it around, it turns into the witch looking lady.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like the rabbit and the, you know, those 3D, not 3D, they're like 2D images, but they're hidden images. They could be looked at two ways. That's how it is with this. I really do see both here. I don't know about you guys. I feel like it's been Hogan for the longest time,
It has, yeah, but it was
and that may be
also
why some of
Hogan.
us are remembering just Hogan.
Yeah,
But
in the '80s, for a time, it was both
yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
Side
I
note
remember
here,
both those.
we have a greeter at church who looks like Hulk Hogan or Hogan, whatever his name is. We have a guy at church looks like him. uh, all right,
And
so
neither is his name anyway.
maybe I should ask him what he remembers. All right, so
How do you spell your name?
yeah, Hogan, Hulk Hogan. Look at all this residue here from
Yeah, see
different.
that's what we didn't show before. There wasn't a presentation for this before when I had brought it up a couple times. So now we have that.
So this residue just started popping up.
Yeah, I found it a long time ago. I found it before I even joined the show.
Hulk Hogan.
So I was curious if anybody else remembered it. So I searched it.
That's so weird, man. It's like if these guys were big fans of the man, don't you think they would have gotten it right with the spelling?
Right.
It's like you go to a rock concert, uh, let's say Red Hot Chili Peppers, and you remember it with two L's in the chili word. Now it's only one L. That freaks me out. That's a definite Mandela effect. The word chili. It used to have two L's and now it has one.
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you guys remember? I know that's a side piece there.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Chili?
Never
Don't you
been to
remember like
Chile.
looking at the chili menu at school and
Oh, I
or if
thought
you
you
go
meant
to
like for like
someplace?
the band.
I think it
What?
was only one
I
for
thought you were
me.
talking about just like the band.
Well, no, I'm not just talking about the band. I'm talking about chili that you eat. Like, because now is the season because it's gotten cooler, so you're going to probably get some nice warm chili.
CH Chill
So here we have
ILLA.
here we have on eBay.
I.
Oh yeah, yeah. eBay, Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Yeah, so all these residues kind of just popped up. Even though we talked about this before, we're seeing some new residues here. So that's what Jeff wanted to share with us. So thank you, Jeff, for that.
You're welcome.
Let's see, what's next? Curious or Europe. Okay,
Huh.
so I'll read for you. Want to read? Who wants to read for Curious or?
I was gonna say she's not here tonight.
That's okay. You want to
Maddie
read for
remembers Hogan.
her? Who does?
Maddie.
Maddie does.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember
See,
Hogan, and it was Hogan, and then Hogan was. I remember Hulk Hogan when I was a kid.
Okay, we had some answers from the chat. Diesel in New Jersey says Chili was with two L's. Mandanimal says two L's. So it seems like a lot of you guys are remembering the chili word with two
Right.
L's.
Some people remember with IE. Is it spelled with IE? I thought that was the country Chile. It's the IE.
Well, Chile, how it's pronounced Chile, is Chile,
Hmm.
just one L. But what I'm talking about is the peppers, chili peppers.
Yeah, I just know there was that CHILLIE, and I never spelled it that way with an E on the end.
They're
I
gonna
remember
change.
CHILLI.
They're gonna change to the red hot chile peppers.
Yeah. I guess I can read this one if you want.
Sure. You want to read it?
I'm not the
Go
best
ahead.
out loud reader, so I'll try. The spelling of a word has been Mandela for Curiouser, and she wants to know which way you remember it spelled. The blank in this sentence, we will say, please tell us in the chat if you remember the blank is one word, two words, or both ways. You must blank when driving in the snow.
We can say the word. You're just
Do I
letting us
pause
know if it's
here?
one word, two words, or both ways. So the word for words is be careful.
Okay.
Is be
Yeah.
careful one word, two words, or both
Okay.
in your reality?
Sandy, I know you make these slides. I'm going to put in a small request, though. Is that okay? Because you know how I like to be click happy. Can you put a pause with parentheses around it at the bottom of the slide if I'm supposed to pause?
I'll put it in. I can put it in the picture.
Brian Staveley's in the chat. Hey, Brian.
Oh,
Hey,
hey, Brian
Brian.
Stabley. Good to have you. Hey, buddy.
Sorry, I can't look at the chat and the screen at the same time since I'm on my phone today.
Good show tonight, Brian Staveley.
I didn't get to see no shows. I was working.
Siren Offspring says, be careful with 2 words.
I'll watch later though.
Mandela says, be careful with 2 words.
Both ways. Wow.
Teresa says, 1 word. Be careful with 1 word. Here's the thing. I know some of you might remember it with 1 word. I'm remembering it as 2 words. Be and careful. Because is 1 word, and maybe that's the that's the one thing is like is because is 1 word. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very similar to that word.
Mhm. But if you put be and careful, it's 2 separate words.
Yeah.
It really is different than when you put it in one full word. Because it's not be careful, it's be careful. Just like I'm noticing the same thing has been going on with maybe. Now my phone keeps constantly trying to autocorrect it to may be, like 2 separate words, and I'm like, no, I'm saying maybe. I'm not saying may and be. Like that's different. That's a different thing. I'm saying maybe. Like maybe you could come over, and it's literally going may and be, and I'm like, no, it's one word. And it's
Super
like,
Jeff Stanton says, be careful with an apostrophe.
hmm.
Sandy, what are you saying? LOL, no worries.
Oh, I said to Brian Staveley if he wanted to hop on, he could, and he said he's too tired. But thanks.
Yeah. I was going to ask him if he wanted to join. That's fine. But yeah, if you're tired, that's fine, Brian. That's okay. Yeah, be careful. 1 word. Diesel says, be careful with 1 word. Okay, so we move on.
Yeah.
So be careful. So Kirsa remembers be careful is 1 word, but it is only used as 2 words in this reality. Does anyone remember 1 word like she does?
So some of you do. It was always 1 word, 2 words for me.
Yeah, it was, I
Oh,
found that it looks right both ways. But I think that's because my phone has been auto correcting it for so long now that I didn't like put it together. But I've always felt that be careful is just one word. It's a be careful, not be careful. Like, it's not two separate words. It was just like a word.
Hmm. I believe you guys. Teresa says it looks weird as two words to her.
Hmm.
And to me, it looks weird as one word.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just used to writing it as two words.
Hi,
But
Anita.
oh man, this one hurts my brain.
Hi,
Seriously.
Anita.
Oh, is that my mom? Hey, mom.
Yep. Your mom's in the chat.
Hi, Anita. I said, sorry, I cannot. Unless you highlight it, I don't see the chat.
Maddie says she beguiled me, bewitched me, etc.
Hey,
Shazam with
Red Storm.
Sinbad movie. Super Jeff Stanton.
So here's the
Analog lines
residue.
was two words always.
I mean, not the residue. This is the current reality.
Current reality.
We love you too, Anita.
Wow.
2 words for Brian Stavely.
Yeah, two words for me too. But
Oh,
it is.
I just gotta tell you, there's like 15 different singles or albums that are all named "Be Careful" one word, which is really weird. I
Mhm.
just wanted to mention that.
I say that since when Budweiser beer battered cheese curds?
Yeah, who remembers Budweiser having food?
No, me neither. I don't remember
I
that.
don't either.
Unless it was they beer battered it with Budweiser, a specific brand that they were trying to promote that. I don't know.
I don't
But
know,
I
but
just never seen it in the freezer section anywhere. That's all.
me neither. But
Yeah.
Sandy, so you know that this kind of reminds me of that word, until, when you break it down and shorten it to till, it's
Yep.
TIL is what I remember, and now it's TILL for till.
I,
Like,
that, and we just covered that recently.
I know
Um,
recently,
no
but I
Sleep Till
remember.
Brooklyn. And I asked the people in the chat that remember TILL like it is now. And no one, I said to them, till is supposed to be short for until, which is spelled UNTIL. So those of you that remember TILL, please tell me what that's short for in your reality, because I don't
Yeah,
know.
and the other word that gets me is fulfill. Like, I have to think about that one because fulfill is 3 L's, not 4. Fulfill.
That was always 3 L's for me, like beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, but you use the word full, but when you change it to fulfill, you have to cut off one of the L's.
I thought I had two, but it's FUF Phil.
Be
FUFILL.
careful.
Maybe I'm misspelling it because I'm trying to do it in the air using my finger.
Yeah, do you remember spelling in the air? I had forgotten all about that. Spelling in the air.
Yeah. I typically that's how I can spell. Like I have to see it to know if it's incorrect or not. Like my kids ask me to spell. I'm like, don't ask me to spell off the top of my head.
Hey,
I'm really
I,
bad at like saying things out loud. I can make a great argument in my head. Just saying it out loud doesn't always come out the way I want it to.
well, as a test, I'm going to ask the AI. I'm going to say which is correct. Be careful or be careful. Let's see what the AI says. You know what's funny is, Sandy, if you got that little snippet I sent you later on or whatever, maybe we could present that. Where I asked the AI about the cornucopia, and it remembers the cornucopia.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that at?
on the Fruit of the Loom thing I sent you?
I'll have to go look for it.
It's okay. I could find it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
cornucopia.
if I could find it, I could bump it down to the bottom for you.
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
I was drawing cornucopias for a little while when I was a teenager because I was like, oh, it's just like the Fruit of the Loom logo. And then it changed.
Yeah.
Because it was weird. It's like that's what I was looking at was because that's why I didn't know what a cornucopia was. Except for the Fruit of the Loom thing.
I didn't even see your residue, Brian. While you're showing this stuff, I am going to add it to the residue folder.
Okay.
I mean, do you mind me sharing that stuff? The letter?
Which one?
The letter you got. It was a handwritten letter. Do you mind me sharing that? I'm skipping a couple of them because they've been shown before.
Yeah, are you sending that to me? Okay.
There's a lot of residue.
Sandy, I just
No.
sent you the
Oh, you just
AI,
sent
what
it.
the AI sent me about Fruit of the Loom.
You want me to put that in the residue folder?
Yes. Is it easy to update it?
Yeah, I can just throw it in at the end. It's fine. I have a
Okay.
few pictures here I'm going to throw in.
Awesome. Yeah, so be careful on spelling the word be careful. I believe Chuck Norris would know how to spell it every time. He never gets words wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just can't see what you guys are looking at until I get back.
That's fine. I'll read this one, I guess, because there is a little bit of a delay, you guys, in between. I'll go ahead and read this one. So credit goes to Sandy and Jose Martinez, Sajar Mandela effect. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, and wait, by the way, I do want to mention that we just had 23 people watching. And it's interesting with the number 23. If you have 23 people in the room, in any room, you have a 50% chance of two people having the same birthday. Did you know that? I know we talked about this before, but I feel like it was worthy of mentioning since we hit 23 viewers.
And it's 23 minutes into the show.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Oh, what?
For
Crazy.
23 minutes and 20. As soon as you started talking, as soon as you said the word 23 or the number 23, it popped up on my screen for the live. It says it on the corner how long we've been on.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for pointing that out, Esther.
It's just funny.
Yeah, lately, Sandy's been finding the weirdest Mandela effects that are nearly or completely impossible to prove with residue because nothing exists. This is one of those kinds of Mandela effects here.
Except that
So,
there
are you
is
guys
residue.
familiar with the vacuum bowling ball feather gravity experiment? The what? Let me repeat that. Are you guys familiar with the vacuum bowling ball feather gravity experiment? I'm not familiar with this at all. But if you are, I have two questions for you. The first question is yes or no. Do they land at the same time? I guess are we talking about in a vacuum where you have a bowling ball and a feather, right?
Yeah, you're going to see the experiment. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay, maybe that makes more sense. The bowling ball and the feather dropping at the same. Yeah, it makes more sense. But in a vacuum, let's see.
I don't remember this.
Oh wait, am I supposed to pause here to see if they know it?
Yeah, this is
Sandy?
the question.
Okay, have you guys ever heard of that experiment? Maddie says it demonstrates wind resistance and mass. Siren Offspring says in a vacuum, same time.
Oh, I'm
Red
sorry. No,
Storm says,
the questions are on the next slides.
okay, well, okay. So the second question comes from Jose Martinez, Sajar and Mandela effect. So, do you remember a single feather or do you remember multiple feathers? What do you remember? Edward Keene says the feather hits the floor first. So I'm guessing you
I would
remember
imagine
one
it would
feather.
be one.
I only remember one.
I vaguely remember something about like something off from a building or something like this was being, but I think that's more of that hypothetical question. Like if 1 pound of this and 1 pound of that were to fall off a building, which would hit the building faster? And it's like, well, they're both weighed the same. It was one of those like questions just to see
Yeah.
well, they're both the same weight. So not
Yeah.
hypothetical, but it's one of those like just to kind of test your, I guess you can say IQ or like well, which one? Logical thinking, I guess.
I guess so. Maddie says more than one feather defeats the purpose, and that's kind of what I was going with there too.
Yeah.
My mom says one. I'm guessing one. Rainbow feathers, Teresa? Question mark?
No, that's
Question
just the
mark? Question
picture.
mark?
That's just the picture I used.
This represents that air causes resistance. That's very true. So this is probably something you guys probably experimented with in the physics class or whatever, you know. We both remember a single white feather. It was about the same size of a bowling ball, not twice as long like they are now. Both the feather and the ball hit the ground simultaneously. The most obvious difference is the multiple feathers. It looks as fluffy as a feather duster now. That's very true. But they also no longer touch the ground simultaneously. No way. So the experiment is shown in slow motion. Because of the longer feathers, they no longer land at the same time. In fact, the feathers touch the ground and even fold a bit before the bowling ball reaches the ground. This is completely, I want to say BS, but this is wrong for us. Does this match your memory? So now, yeah, I don't remember the feathers being that long.
How would the feather land first, though?
Don't they look right there as if they're being tied up to a string or something? I mean, would they be scattered more apart if they're falling?
It's just weird because I mean,
I don't
I
remember
guess
multiple
it
feathers.
depends on how the feathers were falling, but I mean, if the point of feathers is to keep a bird in flight, you would think it would take longer to get to the ground.
All I know is that I remember the feather being the same size as the bowling ball, and they both touched the ground at the same time, and it was one feather.
Yeah. So is the whole room a vacuum?
Hmm.
Maddie wanted to know.
No, not the whole room. It's a gigantic room. There's a huge chamber inside. It's the largest vacuum chamber in the world.
Okay, so Maddie said the feather was in an airtight tube. The ball was not. And this experiment has been done many times.
This is
So
the one.
could this be a variation on that at the original experiment?
I mean, this
Or is
one's
this
6 years old. I think this was the original on YouTube. Everything else I saw was newer.
okay?
This was on the BBC.
It sounds like something you'd see on MythBusters.
Hmm. Maybe it was on MythBusters.
So there's the drop experiment.
Let me actually. I didn't even think about that. Let me look at MythBusters.
Yeah, but drop the feather. If it's already longer than the ball, of course it's going to hit the ground first because it's longer than the ball.
Galileo's hypothesis hammer and feather drop.
So they do fall at the same rate, that it looks like, except the feather looks like it's going a tad bit faster.
It's crazy.
That is weird to think of a feather in the ball landing at the same. I mean, you think that. I mean, that's got to be what, like a 9-10 pound ball?
Yeah, but the vacuum apparently makes it fall at the same rate, and they are falling at the same rate. Again, the issue is the feather is multiple and they're too long.
Yeah.
Because if the
Right.
feather was the same length as the ball, they would have touched at the same time. Because the feathers are twice as big, the ball is still a foot in the air when the feathers reach the ground.
Yeah, that's a huge feather.
Feathers.
Yeah. So in a vacuum chamber, a feather and bowling ball drop from the same height will land at the same time. Here it says. I was actually surprised to find residue for this, but not a lot, but some.
Where it's
And I
showing a
guess
single
I
feather
wonder
the
if it
size of the
matters.
bowling ball.
I wonder if it matters too if the feather is laying horizontal versus vertical, as depicted here. Maybe
Now,
if it's horizontal, huh?
if it were laying horizontal, the bowling ball would touch first because
Well, that's the thing. I think they're giving the feathers honestly a head start here because you see the length of the feather. They should drop the ball from like the very bottom of the feather. Then it would make more sense.
Okay, this is weird. So they're using a feather and a hammer on Mythbusters.
Hmm.
This is a little bit of residue here, I guess, that shows they fall at the same time in a vacuum.
It's just weird.
Interesting. Yep, very interesting.
I have to get back to our shows now.
Okay, this next one here, I'm not sure what the title of this one is, Sandy. So maybe you could familiarize us with this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is another effect. We're on the. I think this is
Yeah.
number 3.
Yeah, if you guys saw this on Curious Your Show last night, just answer what you originally answered. There's a specific type of general store that was very popular in the United States through the 1980s. You can still find some of these today, but they are very rare compared to the olden days.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yep, yep. The one thing the stores all had in common was the inclusion of monetary values in their name, similar to today's dollar stores. Some examples are, that's supposed to say Hoy's, Kresge's, Newberry's, McCrory's, Crest, Woolworths. What were these type of stores called? And go to the next slide because it's just easier. It gives a hint. It'll be faster that way.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the, I need to update on my chat. There we go. This was hard to ask, so here's a hint. These stores were frequently called blank and blank stores or the blank and blanks. I'm going to the blank and blank. And again, I'm looking for monetary values.
One thing that really came to my mind was like malt shop, but
Well, there's some answers in my chat. So Brian, you can see both chats. You want to read what the chat's saying?
Yeah. Let me see.
hmm.
There's like a Brian Adams song about this.
Five and dime store, the dime stores, five and dime, five and dime.
Yep, five and dime. Teresa says five and dime stores.
Mandanimal says 5 and dimes or 5 and 10
Preliminal says Woolworths.
stores. 10-cent stores.
Maddie says 5 and dime. Red Storm says 5 and dime. Mostly everyone's saying 5 and dime stores.
Brian
With it.
Stadley, they still exist. They're just rare. They exist.
Hey, I wonder if they have my. I wonder if they have my Eisenhower dimes there at the 5 and dime.
I don't know, but I guarantee, guys, even if you don't know this, you're going to know it's a Mandela. So here we go. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay.
Eddie says nickel and dime. I'll take it.
Okay.
In my past, these were called 5 and dimes, and written on the store was 5 and 10-cent store. For example, Kresge's 5 and 10, Crest's 5 and dime, or McCrory's 5 and 10-cent store. Hoy's is in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and is still in operation.
So is everything really 5 cents and 10 cents?
No. It was probably back in the day when it was built, but not now.
It's like the Dollar Tree is no longer the Dollar Tree. It's like the $1.25 tree.
And Five Below is no longer 5 and below.
Oh.
They need to change it to 10 below. It was never anything other than 5 and 10 cents in my past. Do you remember it only being 5 and 10 cents? Based on the answers, I would say yes. In this reality, 5 and dimes or 5 and 10-cent stores still exist. But there are actually 3 other types of these stores that never existed in my past. While I was putting it together, I had to add an update. Eddie remembers nickel, not 5.
Nickel and dime, yeah. I mean,
in the 1910s, many of these stores started adding 25 cents to the storefront. Do you remember 5, 10, and 25-cent stores? These never existed in my past, especially not since the 1910s. So here on the Ritz-Carlton, you see carved S.H. Crest and Company 5, 10, 25-cent store.
I don't remember the quarter-cent store now.
Nope, me either.
Wait,
Gets
what
worse,
is that
though.
noise?
Oh, it's just my water bottle.
Oh, it sounds like dimes being
Fell.
dropped into a jar or something.
But even crazier was something Kresge's did in this timeline. Kresge's had stuck with the 5 and dime model. That's not true, that's the update. During this period, and instead of adding 25 cents to their storefront, they decided to make a new store entirely. So here it says Kresge's Company 5 and 10-cent store. But you can go to the next slide, Brian. It was a chunk of cash, TD Mage, but this is even worse. The 50-cent and a dollar store, or 25 cents to a dollar. In 1921, Kresge's decided to make a high-end version of their 5 and 10 store with a red storefront, frequently built right next door. They began opening stores with a green storefront that read Kresge's 25-cent to $1 store in the 1920s. Never. A store 25 cents to a dollar in the 20s.
No.
Not in my past.
That just sounds weird.
It does.
See, this makes me want to think that there were time travelers back then, like people that traveled to that time to. I don't know.
Advertising.
Why else would the 25 cents go to a dollar so fast?
Well, I see a lot of people, like a lot of Mandela effects reflecting our times today. So I guess inflation was even worse back then than we thought it was.
Yeah, like if you go back to what is it, 1929?
This is before the stock market crash, so I'm confused. So, but no, that's not true. Actually, we had like 20 other crashes called panics that we never knew about before. So this
Wow.
explains that, I guess. But there were never any 25-cent low and dollar stores like this in my past, especially not in 1921. Is this new for you too?
So
Mm-hmm.
I think we're living in some crazy times, you guys. I mean,
Thank you, TD. Oh,
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to thank TD
Inflation. I
Mage.
was just thinking inflation. That's
A
all.
dollar in 1910 was $32.32. Because you want to advertise at $30. Like everything in the store is $10 to $30 back in 1910s. Like no, absolutely not. So here's the update. And correction, Woolworths was the most known 5 and 10 cent store in my area, but at the time I was born, they were just Woolworths. Officially just Woolworth in the USA, and previous Emmy I have covered. However, also, I was wrong. Kresge's did make some stores 5, 10, and 25 cents, as you can see here. I don't know if they did this before or after making their 25 cents to a dollar store. But that's not all. No, we weren't born yet, but I still never seen this. There are 5 and dimes still around today. I have never seen 25 cents written on any of them, let alone 50 cents or a dollar. They had another version I have never seen before today, 5, 10, and 15 cent stores, and 25, 50 cent, and $1 stores. So here they're saying the red is 5, 10, 15, the green is 25, 50, a dollar. I've never seen anything like that. It was just 5 and 10 in my past. You guys remember these?
Never have I ever, Sandy.
That's just weird.
I think that's going to be my new phrase. Never have I ever.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It wouldn't be forgotten history because I'm about to show you stores that still have it. Dooley's 5, 10, and 25 cent store. That's in a strip mall. Like I said, these stores still exist today. I've just never seen 25 or 50 or dollars written on any of them.
Well, if they
Hey
change in your
guys,
area, that would totally freak you out, huh?
it's 11:11 on 9/22. Just thought I'd point that out.
So here's more of the different prices. In the bottom right hand corner, well, in the top right hand corner, you see 25 cent to a dollar closer up. But on the bottom corner, you can see the horse and buggies, and it's 5, 10, and 15 cents. 15 cents with horse and buggies. Like
Wow.
painted signs. McCrory's, that's a current day sign. It's not, it's in a strip mall as well.
Wait, which one?
The one that on the other page, on the other next
Okay, right
page
there.
at the top,
Yeah.
McCrory's. That's from a strip mall as well. 5, 10, 25 cents. Crest was one of those companies. It's all merged. 5, 10, 25 cent store.
No, it was just 5, 10, 5 and 10, 5 and dime.
I
I
was
wonder
thinking that, Brian
if
Stavely.
I wonder if has Sandy, has anyone else covered this one yet?
No, Brian, it's just me.
Well, I'm hoping Moneybags probably needs to pick up on this too, and any other creators, I'm sure will see this. Just be sure to give credit where credit's due. That's all we ask. Credit goes to Sandy Deeb on this one.
So this is Crest without the merging. How it should have looked back then.
So you're
And it
saying it's
did look
merged
that
now?
way. Yeah, we just passed the 2 slides with the merging.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. And the broken R.
Yep, and the broken R.
It doesn't surprise me.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
The residue of the 5 and 10, the 5 and dime.
Yeah, 'cause the 5 and dime still exists. It's just that there's also these versions. Oh, and top right hand corner, we have another one of those cent signs without the line inside of it. That's another pattern we're seeing. Also, the 5 and dime on the top left, the line is crooked. Never seen that before either.
You're telling me the C doesn't have the line through it anymore?
A pattern I'm seeing is that the C does not have a line through it, or it has weird lines through it, like that diagonal one on the top left on the previous slide.
Yeah.
The one on the right does not have a line. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see that one.
Yes.
I see the one on the left too with the slanted one. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have inappropriate periods on buildings. I think I'm going to highlight one at the end. Oh, there's a red bar flag for everyone.
I see that.
Pointing to the inappropriate period. There you go.
Yeah, signs aren't supposed to have periods on them.
Mm-hmm. So there's a 5, 10, 15-cent store. Check out how everyone's dressed. So that's it. These were popular through the 90s, these stores.
Hang on. So, okay, so it looks like everyone here is wearing like suits and ties.
Yeah, it's like the 1920s.
This is how
Maybe even a
everyone
little bit
dressed.
earlier.
Do you know when polo shirts were invented? Because most people today, most men wear polo shirts.
No idea, Brian. At least the 60s, if not the 50s, maybe even the 40s.
Okay. Yeah. If you could go to any era,
Oh, you're going
Sandy,
to
where would you
you're
like?
going to have to refresh. I added slides to this. You have to hit refresh.
Oh crap! Hang on. Let me exit.
I agree, Red Storm. It looks like the 20s, like right around the stock market crash. Well, the iPhone keyboard does. You just have to hold in the dollar sign, and you'll get all the options.
Did they give you a dollar sign with 2 slashes in it?
No.
How many of you guys?
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
No, how many of you guys, whenever you're writing tips on receipts, you know, when you sign the tip or whatever, sign the merchant receipt, how many of you guys still put 2 slashes on your dollar sign? I do.
I do.
I can't stand not doing it. It irritates me. I have to do the 2.
Yep. What is up with this software FTW being merged?
That's why I'm showing it. This is for Pac-Man, so this is old.
You notice
Pac-Man's being
FCW is
advertised.
just WTF backwards.
Yep, WTF backwards, and WTF is in our chat. So
Yeah.
the bottom left is the 1980s from KETC St. Louis, all merged, every single letter. And then Anita, also in the chat, saw the R and the T merged on her television screen.
Wow. So maybe it's certain fonts now that are affected. I mean, I know it's not just the fonts; it's to do with the nature, I think, of the company. But
yes, certain fonts are merged now. Yes.
Yeah, I know we talked about Times New Roman, didn't we, with the W's looking like double V's?
Yeah, I need to explain this. I need to explain what we're looking at here.
Yeah, what are we looking at?
I need you to zoom out first. I need you guys to look at the top and the bottom image. They do not look the same. And I need you to look at the top peninsula of Michigan and see that little, on the top image, do you see that little island, well, peninsula sticking out above Michigan?
Yeah.
You see the water between, like there's water between land on the right and the left. But if you go to maps, there's no water there. It's all land. It's all connected. And Michigan is almost hitting into that piece of land. I remember the top, but it is the bottom now. Does anyone remember the top like I do? This is the cover of a Rand McNally map. It was an atlas, I'm sorry. A Rand McNally atlas from the 1960s. This is how I remember Michigan, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes area. It no longer looks like that.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's no longer really an island; that they're more peninsula now, or joined.
Yeah, they are joined. And the Michigan to the land above, the gap is it's a teeny tiny bit compared to the way it was. Hey, Philo.
I don't know. I can't say
Mandanimal
because I mean I haven't
agrees.
been there. You know,
hmm Also,
I've
if you
never
zoom
been
out,
there.
do
I
you see
did.
how? All right, so there's water. There's like a whole section of water above that peninsula that is not there anymore, and it's connecting to the lake off to the right, and now it's completely blocks it off, or appears to on the map, I should say. It's probably a really thin stream. It's completely different. I'm telling you. Is it which one is it? Lake Superior. Lake Superior is bigger on the map at the top too, as well. Red Storm says the Mackinac, and we remember Mackinac with the W. When I say we, I mean myself and Karen Melanie. Bridge is between lower and upper Michigan. It's 5 miles long, says Red Storm. In the map I see, it should be at least 15-20. The one on the top. It should be much longer. The way I remember it. That's interesting. Philo says, one of Debbie Gibson's vocal coaches was a teacher from the school I went to. And one of my animation teachers worked on The Lion King at Disney.
Hmm.
All right, so guys, this is a quick question. Does anyone remember Kmart having a separate grocery store? Like I've covered the K Chef. No, not K Chef. K Chef was the thing inside. I covered the fast food Kmart. I forget the name of it is. K Cafe, I think it was called. It was like outside of Kmart's as a standalone fast food place that you could eat inside or take out food. But I don't remember a Kmart food store. Does anyone remember food? Just food?
No.
No, that was a Walmart. Well, no, they used to have. Was one Kmart?
And also, do you remember the Kmart logo ever broken the way it is? Look at all the lines in the sign. I don't remember that. But it could have been just the older ones before my time.
And it's really spaced apart.
I mean, the A's got two chunks in it besides the line on the side.
Yeah. Unless that's just a really old sign that needed to be fixed.
It may have been certain states preliminary. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. I'm just saying I've never seen it before. But when Brian goes to the next slide, also the F is not consistent with our timeline. Consistent with this timeline, but not ours. Can you zoom in on the F, Brian? Show them that's cut off and curved. It was called K Food and Kmart Food, depending on which one you went to.
Look
So
at
I
the
have two that.
Piggly.
Hmm?
Oh, it looks like the old fonts that I grew up with, like in the 90s. For
Yeah,
the
but
F.
not the 60s and 70s. I don't remember the F's being cut off in the 60s and 70s at all. And that Mart looks like it's overlapping the K, which is weird.
Hmm.
Does anyone remember K Food or Kmart Food?
I just thought it was a place where you got shoes and stuff.
Yeah, same. I don't know where Brian went.
I'm right here.
Oh, you're not responding.
Oh, sorry. So
Okay,
here we're looking at
Jeff?
a map of the United States.
And Louisiana does not have a middle finger.
Richard Simmons. Where's his headband and arm bracelets?
I know.
Arm
But this
bands.
one includes a headband. Well, why?
Huh.
Nice find, Teresa. And then the
Nobody
rest
does it
of the
like Sarah.
slides. I'm sorry. The rest of the slides are all the other images are from Brian. Sky Brian.
Yeah, nobody does it like Sarah Lee.
That's really good residue right there.
There's somebody that was Alan who wrote to me in my high school yearbook. Brian, you're an intelligent person. There, I don't have to read all that, but then it says at the bottom Chick-fil-A because that's where I used to work. And look at the way he spells it, CHIC.
Mm-hmm.
I told you guys, I showed you my name tag. My name tag changed to CHICK.
That's excellent residue.
The lion will lay with the lamb. And right there at the bottom, it says Isaiah 11:6. So this is the thing I was telling you guys about earlier, where I sent a message to ChatGPT and I said, was there a horn of plenty in the Fruit of the Loom emblem on the underwear? And it said, yes, for many years, the Fruit of the Loom brand's emblem included an assortment of fruit and a horn of plenty or cornucopia. This imagery was chosen to represent the brand's promise of abundance and quality. Over the years, the brand logo has evolved, and while the fruit remains a central theme, the cornucopia has been removed in more recent iterations. So, yeah, that proves it right there. I mean, the AI knew it existed. So, here's a really nice one that I found. It was this thing here talking about astrology, and if I looked about 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, and it was showing Capricorn uh, as a goat and not a sea goat, because now it has like what does it have, like a mermaid tail? Capricorn
Yes.
has a mermaid tail now. It's a sea goat. It used to just be a goat, right? Right, guys?
Yes. Always
Mm-hmm.
just a goat for me.
It's
Great
like this.
residue, Brian.
Thanks. Yeah, it's the strangest thing to see it with a fishtail now or mermaid tail. Speaking of
And,
mermaids,
and
next up is Esther.
before we get to that, Red Storm makes a great point. I
What's
wouldn't
that?
have known what a cornucopia was if it weren't for Fruit of the Loom.
Really?
Until like we started like doing like making them in school for Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
that I knew what a cornucopia was before that. Like from a little kid, I knew what a cornucopia was because I used to look at my dad used to always have the undershirts, and kids. Like I used to play with my grandmother's long nails, and I used to look at my dad's the tags on my dad's shirt. I put them in for him when they'd stick out. So no, they'd always had a cornucopia for me. Always, always. All right, Esther, you're up.
So recently I noticed something that didn't match my memory in the 2023 remake of Disney's The Little Mermaid. So this is the brand new Little Mermaid one.
I got to ask you guys. Don't tell me what it was about because I just want to know. Was it good? Was it comparable with the cartoon?
I think it was actually better than the cartoon in the storyline, but there was some things that was kind of annoying for me because they just made it like updated. So they gave like
Yeah.
it was like a rap, like it was kind of a rap. It was just I don't know, a couple of the songs I wasn't thrilled with, but it was still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for live animation, it was or live action, it was one of their better ones.
And I will say, I know two people who saw it who never saw the original and they loved it. So it could be our bias of the original
Mhm.
a little bit too, but they loved it, but they've never seen the original.
I think it was the way that they did the storyline was a little bit more believable than the original one. Like how Ariel fell in love with Eric so quickly, but it was just like I don't know, it was just it felt more organic their relationship than it did in the original one. So it was at least that was better. And
That's
oh
not
my
the
word,
point
the
of Disney.
little what's his name? I know the crab's name. All of a sudden, forgetting it. Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Oh, he's
Sebastian.
hilarious. so, and I did not know that the guy who does his voice is actually. I don't know if you ever watched Kimmy Schmidt. And he was on that show, and I was like, "Oh, I did not know that." He's actually not Jamaican, but he does a Jamaican accent, and he nailed it. They nailed the voices. It was awesome.
Hey guys, this is probably the only time I'm going to ask you to look at the girl's boobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the boobs and then tell me which ones you remember.
Which
If we're
top do
start
you
that.
remember from the film trailers or coverage of the movie? Yes or no? Do you remember a lacy ruffle on top?
So no is on the left, yes is on the right.
And this is when I watched the movie, and the very next night I watched it with part of the way through with my kids. They weren't really that interested, so I shut it off. And then I finished watching it the next night by myself because I loved it so, or the next day by myself because I did really enjoy it and I did really want to pay attention to it. And it changed from the very first time I watched it, which was
And
weird.
that happened to me with Squid Game. Watching Squid Game right after watching it, and the quote changed.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, it was I said to you guys before we started the show, but it was one of those I was actually really paying attention to Ariel. The one thing I did pay attention to the very first time I watched it was Ariel's top because it just seemed off because of
You're going to
the
find out why
original.
it's off. You're going
Yeah.
to find out why it's off in a second. I just have no answers in the chat at all. I don't know about Brian's chat.
Well, I mean, I would have thought more people would have seen it by now because I mean, it took me I don't know, it was on Disney Plus for at least a week or so before I even watched it. So it's been on Disney Plus for a little while. And of course, it was in the theaters, so
It was
there
very
was so much hype.
controversial too, though. A lot of people
Yeah.
did not see it because of it. It's sort of like a boycott, you know?
Which doesn't make any sense because I think it was awesome. It was great. I think the character I'm not thrilled about Eric, but
Yeah.
Well,
you
let me
know,
rephrase. A lot of people are boycotting Disney and Disney Plus as well.
yeah. All right, like I said, it was pretty. I mean, for a live ad,
Yeah,
and you know,
I
it's
think
hard.
they're getting nailed because they're placing controversial ideas in their product. That's all I gotta say.
Hmm.
And subliminal messages.
Yes, yes, that too.
Yeah.
And it's intentional.
Yeah, I don't really know this one, Esther. If you're asking me about the original, I could probably tell you, but not this thing. I'm sorry, I can't be a much help here with this. If I had to guess, it'd probably be the one on the left.
Welcome the Queen.
I don't know.
Anyone know this one?
I should answer at the point. Yeah, so when I was watching it, because I was paying very close attention to her top because I used to draw Ariel all the time when I was a teenager or before I was a teenager, and I
Next
I
slide, Brian.
absolutely loved it. So when I saw her new outfit, I was like, I don't know, it just seems so plain and just so blah, and it's just like there's nothing really to it, and I was really paying attention to her top because it just wasn't as pretty as the original one.
Brian, she's getting into the next slide. Next slide, Brian. There you go. Go ahead, sir. You're getting into the next slide.
Okay. So I remember the left, no lacy ruffle. There isn't a lot of residue, but there is some. Most of the residue is similar to the original Ariel, who were seashells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely a lot of, even like the Funko Pops and stuff like that. I couldn't find anything with the way I remembered it being very plain.
Oh, you're going to find out, Philo, what happens to Shell Bra in a minute. Don't worry.
But she does have that weird ruffle on top, and now I think I understand why. If I'm right, this is a Mandela effect. The top isn't the real issue.
No, it's
Yeah, it
not.
does have that. I mean, it's cool with the extra ruffle, and it does. The second I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" It's not. It's a very clear. You can see it. It's not like it. It's like I didn't notice it before.
Mm-hmm. And Esther, just wait, because Esther doesn't know this. I covered this and didn't tell her.
Yeah,
So next slide, Brian.
I'm curious.
Brian? Oh, there we go.
In the version that what I originally saw, she was wearing a bikini top. A bikini top wouldn't need a fish fin, but in this reality, this Ariel is not like the old Ariel who wore a shell bikini top.
A fish fin. Do you understand?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
The old Ariel was human on top, fish on the bottom, like every other mermaid we see in books, films, and cartoons. Yeah, she always wore the shells.
Because she was human on top.
Mm-hmm.
This little mermaid is not. Go ahead, Brian.
But the new Ariel is different. Her body is human fish. She is not wearing a top at all. Her bikini top is naked fish scales, and the ruffle is decorative fin that matches the two on her hips.
So if you look at the yellow boxes, you can see the ruffles on the hips. They match the top because her breasts are fish scale. They're not, it's not a top. She's human fish, human fish. You can see the tearing underneath her breasts. That's where the skin and the fish scales meet.
That would explain why when she turned into a human, she still had the top part. Or no, that wouldn't explain that. That still wouldn't explain that.
No,
Well, see, I thought it was like, because I thought it was clothing, because when she turned into a human, she still had her top, but she didn't have the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. This is much more than a top change. This is a whole mermaid change we're looking at. I've never seen a mermaid that's human fish, human fish. The next slide will show you. I did the pointing, so if you guys aren't following by just me talking, there's arrows pointing to where she's human and where she's fish. Next slide, Brian. So there you go. Human, fish, human, fish. Her boobs and her legs are fish. Her stomach and above her boobs are human. And
weird.
that is
Weird.
why
They
there's
did
a
it weird.
ruffle, because the ruffle matches the ruffles on her hips. Because the fishy parts of her have fins.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, they said with the extra little ruffle on top. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool now. I'm like, but that wasn't there when I first saw it. It was just plain as can be.
I agree. Maggie says, my God, she's a monster.
Oh, she's really sweet. Which I know somebody had pointed out. Like the whole movie could have been completely redone if somebody had just given her a paper and a pencil.
And I want to mention that on her skin, even the human part, she has fish scales,
Yeah.
which look like psoriasis. Like, who said
Mhm.
psoriasis? Someone said psoriasis in the chat. The heartbreak of psoriasis, says Mandanimal.
Yeah.
So even her skin has fish scales. And here you can see those fins on the hips better.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was like kind of and even like the outfits that she wore, she didn't wear like the dresses that Ariel wore and things. They gave her like whole new dresses, which is kind of a bummer.
Now, the best residue I found is right there, the bottom left.
Hmm.
Sean something art. That is definitely a top. It's a purple top.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that
the.
one was
Mhm.
it was interesting. Like that when I found the T-shirt with the Halle Berry, I'm like, I think that's an actual licensed T-shirt too.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
some
that
of
was a
them,
good one too.
yeah. It was difficult to find something that didn't have like it, or like so many of them had just the shells for residue because a lot of them were done. Some of the artwork I found was pre, like before it came out. So
Yeah.
when I was trying to find residue, I'm like, well, I don't want to give those ones because those are possible artworks. So it was definitely difficult looking for stuff.
Mm.
Mm.
The
But this
top
was,
right, you can tell the top right is after, and they drew her with purple shells because
mhm,
they have scenes from the movie where they drew her, like her in the
mhm,
water on the left.
yeah. Yeah, the one that says the Little Mermaid, those two were like done after. Those were 2023 and
Mhm.
2022, I think. So like that, those were done after the designs were all made.
Yes, we covered the mannequin sequel,
Mhm.
and we've also and Splash. Also, I've also found Mandela effects in Splash.
So it's not the
And
top that's different. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, I covered that was part of it, the TV sequel, but also the fact that her fishtail is red instead of green with black and gold and all sorts of stuff that wasn't there before. Go on, I'm sorry.
It's the entire mermaid Ariel that's different for me. Do you remember the new Ariel being human, fish, human, or like the old Ariel human on top wearing a bikini top? Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting how it was like scale like, but I just thought it was like part of their clothing. Because like
Hmm.
so many of them were wearing like one of her sisters is like all different colors and everything, like super like colorful.
Yep.
And
I'm
I
waiting
don't
for.
know, is her hair curly or or straight, or I'm just
It's
confused on that.
braided. It's
I don't know.
braided, straight, and curly because only sections are braided, and some of it's like flowy.
Yeah.
So I think it's all of the above based on the images I
Yeah.
saw.
It was really confusing because it was like in one scene it was like one way, and then another scene it was a different way, and I'm like, wow, how many
It was
different
also
hairstyles is
it was also two different colors. When she was
this?
on land, her hair was more red.
Hmm.
Under the water, it had more blonde highlights.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know it. Yeah, as soon as she got out of the water and she had dry hair, you could see the red. I don't know if they did that because of the fact that when you're under the water, it wouldn't look as red. I don't
Mm,
know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Maybe because of the blue. Yeah, maybe. Hi, Nakus.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Mm. It's kind of interesting how too they had Scuttle be able to speak underwater. So
Yeah,
obviously
Scuttle's
it's a
creepy
movie.
looking. It's creepy looking to see real sea animals
Yeah.
in that section. Like in the, compared to the cartoon characters.
Uh, what I don't get
Yeah, I
is
did a.
Scuttle was clearly a woman's voice. There was the I can't remember her name, America or whatever her name is.
Frere.
Um, yeah. It was clearly a woman, but Scuttle was supposed to be a boy because
Yes.
they literally say him. There's something wrong with him, man, and it's like that boy is there's something wrong with it, and it's like they say they call him a boy, but it's clearly a woman's voice. It's like I don't understand why didn't they use a man if Scuttle was supposed to be a man, but they use a woman for the voice, but call her a man. It's like, well, it's not a man.
Hold up, I'm about to have a crisis here. Have we been saying Philo's name wrong this whole time? Is it Philo-Fire, not Philo? Philo or Philo?
I'm not sure.
How do you say your name? Because Nick has just said,
But
hi,
Sandy,
Phil.
Sandy, what'd you think about the Little Mermaid cooking hot dogs there?
A little bizarre there.
What?
I'm
Look
not a
how
Phil. I know
accurate.
you're not a Phil, but do you pronounce it Phil?
Okay. Sorry.
Jeff, do you want
I
to
was
read
having a little
one?
bit of fun.
Jeff is so quiet.
Yes.
Jeff, are you there? Is Jeff there?
Jeff?
Maybe he fell asleep.
No, I mean, is he actually there? Because we can't see our pictures.
Okay, well, I'll read this one, I guess. On our show last night, we covered Prego again, and some in the chat started focusing on the brand name of SpaghettiOs.
Is John Nada here? Because he was the one who mentioned it first.
Yep.
So we're right. It is Philo. Just want to say it is Philo. We're correct. Thank you, Philo. Okay, go on. Sorry, Brian.
Okay. Well, believe it or not, this Mandela effect was asked about on Once Upon a Timeline subreddit 6 years ago, but I will ask it anyway. Which brand made SpaghettiOs in your past?
So do you remember Chef Boyardee or Campbell's making SpaghettiOs?
I remember Chef Boyardee, but
Well,
my dad will tell you, because me and him had this conversation. He will tell you that it was made by Franco Martin or Franco Marco or something like that.
yeah,
Back,
Franco-American. We're going to be talking about
Franco
it.
American, yeah, back in the day, and then they changed it. Campbell's bought them out or something.
No, it was always the Campbell's company.
Okay, but
In
were
the
they like
chat, we have Analog Lime, Michelle, aka Nakis, TD Mage, all saying Chef, and Mandanimal.
I remember Chef Boyardee's. Yeah. So anyway, when Sandy was a kid, it was Franco American, which was a Campbell's soup company. In 2019, Campbell's decided to drop the brand and label all Franco American products with the Campbell's branding. So Chef, look at that weird Pac-Man logo. Remember we talked about that? Chef Boyardee is mostly known for ravioli, but they have sold similar products to SpaghettiOs in the past, like these Pac-Man shaped pasta from the 1980s. But in this reality, they have never made SpaghettiOs. Do you remember Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs?
So preliminary, I was just being lazy. I was not writing the dashes in over and over again. It wasn't happening. That's all. But they did remove the dashes. There were dashes. They removed the dashes.
But let me tell you something though. You know, we used to consume this stuff a lot as kids, and you know they say no preservatives and all that. They say you actually can get quite a bit of your vegetables from eating this stuff. Isn't that right?
Oh, I have no
Like
idea.
it says it has like, what is it, 50% of your daily value or something like that?
Maybe cheese on the cheese ones. I don't know.
I don't know.
We covered the Boyardee with the dashes a couple of years ago, guys.
Yes, we did. So Sandy did manage to find some residue of Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs that I will share. But before she does, I want to show you something else. So when covering Prego the first time, I mentioned how I had a dual memory of Campbell's and Campbell's soup.
And everybody was like, no, it was always Campbell's. Okay, I have a vague memory of it. Go ahead, Brian.
It was Campbell's soup, but while looking for SpaghettiOs residue, I found that this picture of the SpaghettiOs alien dolls and on the residue of their feet.
The underside of their feet.
Okay, yeah,
Check
on the
that out.
underside. What did I say? On the underside.
Residue. You
Oh,
said
sorry.
residue. It's okay.
And Boston, the plastic is Campbell Soup Company, no S, just like I remember. Vaguely.
1984 Campbell Soup Company.
Well,
That doesn't
interesting. It's
sound
got
right to anyone else, huh?
It says it's interesting. It has the 1984 as the year.
Yep. Hey, Noise Guru.
Okay, and on to the residue I know many of you have been waiting for. Yay! Here we go.
So this is current reality first.
Current reality, Franco-American, and Campbell's. The here we got residue. Healthy SpaghettiOs, Chef Boyardee. It has it over here in the title. And then in this other one here, Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs. Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs.
And guys, I'm sorry if you're in Brian's chat. Jeff is in the chat, so he was here. Maybe he was muted.
Chef.
But if you're in Brian's chat and answering, I'm sorry, I can't see it. I can only see my chat.
I'm trying to look when I can.
Well, let me see. So,
Priority.
Michelle, aka Naika, says Franco-American. So, is it Philofire? Philofire says never dashes.
No, it's phyllo, like phyllo dough, phyllo bread.
Okay, you said it was Philo.
No, no. I was asking her if it was philo or phyllo, and she said phyllo.
Priorities, the spelling. Oh.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't buy enough of SpaghettiOs to remember which way. Ranch dressing is good on everything except salad. Oh.
Again, right here it says Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs. Syrupy tomato sauce plus low-grade meat multiplied by something, marketing the slightest flavor, overtones of an aluminum can. Childhood lunchtime bliss.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, isn't it?
Yep.
Right,
So we're on
to
the next presentation. All right, this is mainly videos. This is mainly videos, and I have to. Jeff, are you here? Do you want to read?
Yeah, I'm here now.
All right, you read this one, and I'll read the last one.
All right. The Hershey's Mandela effect is an old one, but it's a strong one with new residue popping up all the time.
I thought that was very clever with the bar mitzvah sign. That was very clever. I love it.
Ariels.
And it's Ariels. I know. Isn't that crazy? The syncing is just off the charts here. Brian?
Yep.
We can go to the next one.
Okay.
Or could it be that we remember Hershey because Hershey remembers Hershey in this reality?
Check it out, guys. This is a shirt from Hershey Park. And it says Hershey's Kisses, like it is now. But it's also Hershey Kiss underneath. It's both ways on the shirt.
Yeah, Sandy, I went to Hershey Park as a kid.
So did I.
And
yes.
I know for sure there were Hershey Kisses and not Hershey's Kisses.
I am with you 100%. Also, I want to mention that Rich Rosanic found the Mandela effect. Hershey Park was 2 words. It's now 1.
No way. No, it was 2 words.
I know. You see in the bottom corner? That's an old shirt, too.
Just go with their flagship, Hershey Bar. Just go with their flagship, Hershey Bar. Just go with their flagship.
Oh, wow, that's good news, Sandy.
Thanks. There's a lot more to come. Go ahead, Jeff.
But what if the reason we are finding so much new residue, like this, for example, is because in this reality it can be both ways, or it could be in the middle of a flip-flop?
Yes, sir. I'll get right on that, sir.
Your facts, sir. Remember, you can email directly from your seat.
Change is bad. The Hershey Bar, unchanged since 1899.
What?
The
It said
Hershey bar.
Yeah.
The Hershey bar.
Yes.
Unchanged my butt.
Well, burst my bubble. That's a horse of a different color.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a lot more of this guy. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if a flip flop is happening or if this reality, it's both ways. So go on. Next one. You don't have to
Going
read it.
to show you multiple
yeah.
commercials, many with Hershey and Hershey's in them.
The first one, the next one, I want you to tell me if you hear Hershey or Hershey's. So everybody listen in.
One of the old-time greats.
It's hard to hear this one, Sandy.
Huh?
Kind of hard to hear this one. The volume is low.
You want pure milk chocolate with or without almonds? Nothing but a Hershey bar will do.
A Hershey bar.
Hershey bar, yeah.
I heard Hershey.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're singing Hershey or Hershey's.
One of the old-time greats.
I don't know what they're singing though, but they do say Hershey bar.
In that commercial, they always used to sing Hershey's, but I couldn't tell there if they still were.
Well, we have more.
Real milk chocolate, I love that Hershey bar.
Oh, it's a Hershey bar. You hear that?
Yep.
That's something special no matter where you are. Anytime you want delicious chocolate, there's no need to go looking very far. Hershey's great, cause Hershey is the great American chocolate bar.
Because Hershey is the great American chocolate bar. And then they show
nothing like the face of a kid eating a Hershey bar.
A Hershey bar.
A face as happy as it can be. Only a Hershey bar tastes like a Hershey bar.
Wow. Yeah, they were Hershey
insane.
bars.
They were
I
all
totally remember Hershey bars.
It's the chocolate.
I pointed this. I found this one in 2016.
But what I'm saying is, I don't remember when this was covered. I don't remember all the commercials saying Hershey. They all changed to Hershey's, and now they're Hershey again.
Yeah, they
Yes,
all used
I
to
don't
say
remember them being
Hershey's.
all Hershey here.
Also, can you rewind that commercial a little bit? There's a question I want to ask you. I want you to look at the kid opening. Pause it a second. You're gonna see a kid open up a Hershey bar. Back then, up until like the late 1990s, they were always wrapped in foil. Why is this kid unwrapping wax paper? So watch it, you'll see.
Of a kid eating a Hershey bar. A face as happy as it can be. Only a Hershey bar tastes like a Hershey bar.
I saw that. It had plastic.
No, it's wax paper.
Yeah, but
with
they
like
had,
a double ice cream bar.
no,
Yeah.
they used aluminum foil.
Yeah, it was always foil back then.
It's the chocolate. Hershey's real milk chocolate. And if you like almonds, try the Hershey bar with almonds. The best tasting, freshly roasted almonds there are. Hershey, the great American.
It was foil.
Did you see that? They sang
The great American. Freshly roasted almonds there are.
Hershey's on the screen.
Hershey, the great American chocolate bar.
I can't.
Well,
It's both ways in this reality. It's both ways.
you know, it's like this reminds me of O'Reilly's. It was O'Reilly's. It was what was it? O'Reilly's.
Yeah, but do
Auto
they
Parts
sing
now.
O'Reilly's while showing O'Reilly on the screen? I've
No.
never
I've
seen this
never
before.
heard it as O'Reilly's.
I have always
Never
heard
heard
of
of
O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
O'Reilly's.
It's always been O'Reilly.
It was always O'Reilly's for me. The O'Reilly's.
Yeah.
Auto Parts.
Happiness is a Hershey bar. Happiness is a Hershey bar.
Wait, yeah, they did the Hershey bar.
Hershey
Let's stop here.
If it's been 24 hours since
You want me to go back to that last one?
No, I was just playing Hershey bar. That's it. Listen to
you
this one.
last tasted the richness of a pure milk chocolate Hershey bar.
Yes, they're all saying Hershey bar.
They're all
Don't you
saying
think you've
Hershey
waited
bar.
long enough? Hershey, the great American chocolate bar.
Hershey while showing a Hershey's bar. It's insane. I can't.
S'mores. Take a Hershey chocolate bar, graham crackers, and a marshmallow, and then
We already
mix
missed
it
it.
together, and you get a s'more. Not like that! Crackers, lots of marshmallows, and lots and lots of Hershey bars.
No matter how you
Hershey bars.
make s'mores, make sure you make them with a Hershey bar.
They
Oh my
even
God,
say
this is a
it.
Hershey bar again.
That's what I'm saying. It's all Hershey.
They would say Hershey's bar.
That's what I'm saying.
What
But
the fuck
written on the
happened to the
screen is
sound?
Hershey's. It's all right.
It's a piece of America. It's Hershey's. It's all right.
Now they say Hershey's, but wait.
When you consider it takes 34 different muscles just to frown, isn't it nice to know it only takes one Hershey bar to make you smile?
Hershey bar.
So have a Hershey bar and be happy.
Hershey bar.
It's a piece of America. It's Hershey's. It's all right.
Maybe it's going to switch back.
Now they say it both ways here.
Hershey's chocolate, Hershey's chocolate, it's
The Hershey's chocolate world.
wherever you go,
No matter how far.
you're always near.
A Hershey bar.
A Hershey bar.
Hershey's chocolate, Hershey's chocolate, it's a Hershey's chocolate
World.
If you're traveling high,
Wherever you roam, it's good to find
a friend from home. Hershey's chocolate, real milk chocolate. Hershey, the great American chocolate bar.
Who got chills with Hershey?
You guys are right.
Stop. That's it. I just wanted to hear that girl scream Hershey.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that ride. We've been on that ride so many times, and that's what they say.
Wait, hold on. Which
in the
ride?
chapter.
Was it the train ride?
Well, it's not really a train ride. It's like a little. It's like an amusement park ride, kind of like you go in and they show you how they make the chocolate, and like there's like you go in and you see the animatronics and all of that. Yeah, they've always said Hershey chocolate. They never said it with an S.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a flip-flop, like in progress, or do you think in this reality it's both ways? Which one do you think it is?
I would love it if it flip flops.
I
Then I could do
remember clear as day on the print. It said Hershey on the top of the bar.
Yes, it did.
it. Mm-hmm.
And I noticed it in October of 2016. That's when I noticed the change.
And then everything after that all said Hershey's. The
I was with my kids at the
commercials.
convenience store. I remember it clearly. I was with my kids at the convenience store, and my daughter was asking me for a bar of chocolate. I said, okay, I'll get you a Hershey bar. So I went in there and got it. And I'm like, what? Hershey's? No, this can't be right. So that was one of my earlier Mandela effects.
Chat, what do you think? Do you think it's a flip-flop, or do you think we just live in a reality where it's always been both? That's why I showed commercials from all different decades. What were you saying, Esther? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's like we've been to the Hershey Chocolate Factory many times, and my sister that she loved Hershey chocolate. She had so many like tins, and like she just loved those things. Yeah, and Coca-Cola. She used to have like a whole area that had just like memorabilia and stuff like that.
Now, I will say the Hershey memorabilia has Hershey written on it a lot. That's a lot of the residue we found is on the tins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Noise Guru. White chocolate is cocoa butter.
Wait, white chocolate's made of what?
Cocoa butter. It's gross. I hate white chocolate.
Yes, actually chocolate.
I like white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
I would like it a lot better if they'd stick real chocolate in there.
Yeah, it's not real chocolate, is it?
No, it's not.
Does chocolate milk come from chocolate cows?
Have you tried their cookies and cream bars? Have you tried the Hershey cookies and cream?
No, I don't like white chocolate, Brian. I despise
I
it.
know. I don't like that kind. I don't like that with the cookies and cream. I liked it at first, but no, I can't stand it.
I liked it when it first came out, but then it became so sweet that I can't eat it. Like I love zero bars, but they're so
Yeah.
sweet that they're really hard to like. You can have like a tiny bit, but it's just so sweet.
I feel
Dark
like my face
chocolate,
sweats
great.
every time I eat it. I get chocolate sweats. I don't know about you guys.
I don't get
Yeah.
them.
I think that's the thing with white chocolate. It's so sweet because it's not actually chocolate, and they use so
Yeah.
much sweeteners to make it like chocolate. But I don't know. It's just basically just like sugar. I don't know. It leaves like a film in your mouth and everything, unlike chocolate.
Here, wait, let me put it this way. So, chocolate, there's different levels of chocolate and creaminess and quality. All white chocolate, to me, tastes like Palmer's chocolate. If you know what Palmer's chocolate is, it's not
Yeah,
very
isn't
good
that the
chocolate.
baker's? It's like a baker's chocolate.
Yeah, the stuff I
No,
don't
no,
buy.
Baker's chocolate's better. I'd rather bite on a bitter piece of Baker's cocoa than white
Yeah,
chocolate. Like, that's
yeah.
bad for
It's
me.
just like
No.
almond bark things, like when you would buy like the big chunky. I don't buy those because they're so. It's like canola oil or something. I don't know. It's like it's not like chocolate.
It's
You
cocoa
know.
butter.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever made peppermint bark?
Oh yeah.
Isn't
No.
that made with the white chocolate?
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's peppermint flavored, so you might get around it, but I still won't eat it. Guys, if you like it, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. I just
No,
can't
not
stand
at
the stuff.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. It needs a lot of other things to make it good.
So anyway, what do you guys think? Flip flop or reality where it's both ways? Yep, you already asked that, Sandy. All right,
Yep.
so we're good to go on that one.
Last folder, and this one is a rehash of a animal. I think it was either it was Fizzy or Teresa. One of them found this, but something weird happened. So I'm going to read this because I have to fill in things as I talk. So I can't remember who found it, but one of them did. This is the glass or ghost catfish. It goes by both names.
Mhm.
Officially, it's the glass catfish, but other people call it the ghost catfish because it's transparent. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. What, you want me to read this?
No, I did. We can go on the next one. No,
Okay.
I said I'm going to read this because I have to fill in things as I go along.
Okay.
And there's videos in here, and none of them have sound, so nothing's wrong. I just have no. I purposely took the sound out. But the reason I'm bringing them up again is because whoever found these the first time forgot an important detail. A detail YouTubers today continue to leave out unless you specifically search for this specific fact. So you can watch a video, like I saw a video, it was like Fish Spotlight, the glass catfish, and they didn't mention this detail, which blows my mind. So next one. Sorry, Brian, there's a slight delay. They all talk about how they're a completely transparent fish, but most people stop there. Most people fail to mention that when they swim, now how could you forget this fact? That's what chat. Tell me how someone could forget this fact. They reflect holographic rainbow colors. The only way I can see this being missed, left out of informative videos, is these fish have been upgraded by the rainbow reality we live in. In
Yeah,
other
because
words,
that would have been an awesome thing to mention. Be like, oh, when they swim, they look like rainbows.
yes.
That
So
would
I
be
think
like,
it was Mandela again. That's all.
yeah, that would be a huge point of the fish. Would be like, that would be an awesome thing to mention.
Exactly. So how are all these videos about these fish not mentioning this? Hey, Mr. Super Sidewinder. Good to see you. Just at the end.
Hmm.
So here's some more pictures. And again, I do have video.
I had glass cats. They never look like that.
Oh, and I lied, Brian. One does have sound because it gives you a little bit of information. It doesn't have music.
Okay.
I didn't want to copyright.
Wait, what's that thing there at the bottom? The transformer thing at the bottom.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know what it says right there in the bottom, the right.
Friends.
Oh, the word trans? I have no idea. Maybe they were going to say transformation.
Oh, okay.
So here is a video. And you can see as it swims, the colors reflecting off of the fish.
I feel like tonight's a real fish themed episode, isn't it? Like we had a bunch of mermaid stuff.
It just happens that way.
Fish. What else do we have?
Under the sea.
And here they're calling it both names, glass ghost catfish.
From glassy to glam, scientists can now explain why. Light is bent as it passes through small striped structures in the fish's muscles, which gives the fish its iridescent appearance. Many fish with an iridescent flare have microscopic crystals that reflect light in their skin or scales. Nevertheless, there are no such structures to account for the brilliance of the ghost catfish Cryptopterus vitriolus or other translucent aquatic animals, such as eel larvae and ice fish. From glassy to glam, science.
Pause it.
From glassy to.
Can you go back a second?
From glassy to glam.
So that guy says scientists now know, but then goes on to say it's because of crystals in the skin or the scales, but these don't have them. So then they really don't know why these turn rainbow. That's all. Good. So this has no sound as well. Just more video of the fish turning rainbow. If I had an aquarium, these would be the first fish I pick. So guys, have you ever seen the rainbow on these fish before? Have you ever even seen these fish before?
No.
Only up until like they were mentioned on the show last time.
But not the rainbow.
No, that was really cool though.
Isn't it? Me too, Michelle. Me too. She says, I want a tank full of these, or full of them. Mr. Super Sidewinder says, I'll stay after and clean your racer, Sandy.
You want to have lots of light in that tank so you can really see them.
Are you talking about little glass cats like the little figurines? Mr. Super Sidewinder says, I really did have a lot of those glass cats. They were only clear. No special white light. So regular lighting. No special lighting required.
Did you see that weird fish up in Alaska that's blue?
The Alaska blue?
Yeah, that was weird. I was reading the article and they said that a lot of people didn't know that species existed. And apparently people have been knowing how to cook it for years. And they're like, yeah, you just got to cook it. And it's like, okay, that's weird.
Oh yeah. Let me show a picture of that. That looks weird.
Yeah, I don't know where. It was just like on my news feed this morning. I was like, what?
It's this right here. Is this the one?
I can't see it. It's, yep.
That's the one?
Yep. It's a weird.
It looks like one of those assorted Swedish fish, only it's not candy.
It's blue on the inside?
Yep, but when you cook it, it turns normal color.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up in Alaska.
That's so weird. Next week, if I get it done, and actually I might have a show tomorrow night on my channel, maybe. It depends on Jeff and if we're tired. But we're also gonna be on Hero Show Sunday, so That's what I'm saying. If we're tired, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. We might have a show tomorrow night. I'm not sure. But and Brian, Esther, you guys are welcome to join. If we have one. But there's another fish that we've also covered that has a new trick it can do as well that we never covered before, like this. So I may cover that one as well. I should have just made
Yeah,
a
I
folder
don't
of
know
fish
what
with new
causes the
tricks.
fish to be blue inside.
Hmm?
Oh, that Michelle was asking what causes the fish to be blue inside. They didn't explain that in the article. It was just more about like people were being taken surprised by it, and this fisherman is like, "Oh, it's been around for this and that." Like, you know, he's like, "I don't know why people are so surprised." Apparently, like to some people, it's a quite common fish, and other people have never heard of it. So, like I get that it's Alaska, so therefore, like someone like me who's far, far away from Alaska wouldn't really know that much about it, but a lot of Alaskans are also going, we've never heard of these. That was pretty interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, didn't we talk about these walking fish? There's fish that have the ability to walk at
Oh
the
yeah,
bottom
we've
of it.
talked about them. So is Stizzy.
That's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah, so many animals now that are like speaking now, and like, what was there? There was a new animal that I just saw the other day. It was like they were speaking as well. I think it was like a giraffe, or no, not a giraffe. It was
It was an elephant.
was it the
What?
elephant?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
an
I
elephant that was
remember
talking.
like an African animal or something. Yeah, it was just like one of those, like, what?
Here's something you probably didn't know. Fish don't have eyelids, so they can't close their eyes.
Wait, did you say going back? Did you say they were speaking?
Yeah, it was, they said like words or something. Like they actually said like 2 or 3 words that was like audible. It was weird. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, it's like the cats that go around. Like there was a clip of now you you can't be for sure that they're not like overlaying words, you know.
yeah.
But it sure sounded like the cat. It was walking through the house going, "Mom, Nicole," but like with a meow cat sound. "Mom, Nicole,
Yeah.
Mom, Nicole." Walk around the house looking for people. And no, no, they cats and dogs couldn't talk like that back then, like my past. No way. And now you're saying a giraffe or something can talk too?
Yeah, well, I guess Brian was saying it was an elephant. I don't remember. It was just recently shared. I think it was in the group chat where um the animal, it was like an African animal, and I'm like, what? It's weird. It was like mom, something, I don't remember, something about mom or something. It was like, wow. Like it was weird. Yeah, it's like more and more animals are being able to speak now. And I mean, it's definitely an animal that is out in the wild, so they shouldn't be able to have the ability to speak because it's not like they hang out with humans. Like, you
It'd be
know,
nice to be like on Family Guy, and you had the dog's name was Brian,
hmm
and he can talk to Stewie.
yeah.
It'd be nice if you actually heard your dog talk to you.
It would be interesting to hear what dogs think about.
I wonder what sort of tips or advice they give us.
I don't know. I think that debate of do dogs really love us could actually finally be put to rest. Like we can finally find out, do they actually love us or are they just attention seekers? So, because there's different
I think
schools
they
of
definitely,
thought.
I think they definitely appreciate the resources that you provide them,
Yeah.
like
Well, some
the
people
home
are,
that they're living in, and the food that you provide for them.
yeah. Well, some people think that they try to get your attention and they try to get you to do things because they need affection, so therefore they're going to manipulate you into getting that. Like they'll do those things because it makes you happy, so that way they can get what they want. but they're not actually happy, and they're not actually like doing it because like they love us. They're actually doing it because they're manipulating us. But then there's also the, well, they do it because they love us, and it's like, so it's like I would love to be able to know, like, that's the dog really doing it because they love you, or is it a manipulation tactic? And therefore it's actually worse than the cat, because these cats, they're just a-holes. It's like, but I love cats, so nothing against cats, but at any second those things can turn against you, and it's like, I get it, but it's just, I'm not a dog
No.
person. I'm not
I
a
think I think it all depends on the cat. Like there's all different types of personalities. Like when I was in the hospital with my cancer surgery, I was there for 10 days. When I came home, my cat ran up to me and stood on two legs, leaning his front paws on me like a dog would. He was
Yeah.
so happy to see me. And then both my cats were laying on me in bed and would not leave my side for like 2-3 days.
Well, I
Like
actually
it.
found out that purring actually can heal the human body. Like that's why they purr and stuff. It's sometimes it's because they're happy, but other times it's because they say that if a cat immediately like walks up to you and starts purring for no real reason, like not just like, oh yay, but if you're upset and they start purring on you, it's because they're trying to heal you. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like they can sense something's wrong. So they'll start purring to heal you, because it can actually heal tendons and stuff like that in your chest and things like that, and can help you get over like chest colds and things. It can go in there, and it's pretty interesting how their purring can actually heal us. So I'm like, another good reason to get a cat.
Yeah.
I am a total cat person. Everybody I work with seems to love dogs, and I'm still like, I don't understand what this dog obsession is. I do not like dogs. I have opinions on them, and I don't like them.
I have
And
opinions.
just, just watching my sister get taken out by a dog, my son get bit by a couple of them. I just don't have the highest opinion of dogs. I used to love them as a kid, but now I just see them as just dumb, stupid animals. I just see them as seeing so many people walking on leashes and the dog take people out or get ripped like across the thing, or because they don't think about their surrounding areas. And I get that they're a dog, but it just frustrates me, and I'm like, I just can't. So it's like, unlike cats, I don't know, they're just different. They're just a whole different animal.
I like both.
Yeah. I like small dogs. I do like hairy, fuzzy. I like to pat a dog and then send it home. It's kind of like when you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, I love kids. Well, I love grandkids. It's like, I don't want any more kids of my own, but I'll take care of the grandkids. It's kind of like that. I'll watch your dog for an hour or two, but I don't want one of my own. So it's like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know if it's just my energy levels or what it is. I don't know. Something just changed. I used to love dogs. And always loved cats, but I grew up with dogs, and my dad, we always have a dog. Not always, but like everywhere we live there's always a dog at least at some point in my life. So I don't know, maybe it's just a tragedy of the dogs that we've owned. Just the last couple of them didn't work out that well. That might have just changed my opinions. Because when we did have dogs, it usually ended up either having to give them away or had to put them down because of something happened to the dog, and it was just too sad. So I don't know if it's just like my brain's way of coping, just going, you just don't like dogs because you don't want to get hurt anymore.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something I need to ask everyone listening. I'm a little nervous because YouTube, they make you get 4,000 watch hours, which is not an easy feat when you're a small channel. The problem is it's only good for 365 days. The the main problem is they don't tell you when that 365 ends. It's not January 1st. It's the first day you uploaded. But I don't remember the first day I uploaded. And the dates are not accurate because I've deleted stuff. So I can't just look at my first video and know the date that I uploaded. So at any time, that 4,000 hours can reset. And I'm like 100 hours away from 4,000 watch hours. So I don't normally ask this, but I'm going to ask. If you can, please share. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Because if I don't hit that 1,000 subscribers before they reset the 4,000 watch hours, even if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I got to do the 4,000 watch hours all over again. So I'm like getting nervous looking at the the 4,000 watch hour thing. So I don't normally ask it like verbally ask it, but I'm actually asking now. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Share it with people that you're not afraid to share it with. Even if it's just like randomly on social media accounts, doesn't matter where. But anything that can get new eyes on this, I really appreciate it. And if you're ever looking for links to like Jeff's channels or Brian's channels, if you're online or vice versa, you can always go to my description on my videos and previous live streams. I'll add it to this one, but it takes like I have to wait for it to post on YouTube. I have everyone's links, all the links in the description. So, and also, it may take like a week or two, but all the stuff we cover gets put into the description as well. So, that's all. Like I said, the other announcement is we're going to try to have a show tomorrow night just on my channel. Like I said, Brian, Esther, you're both welcome, but I think it's going to be late. And we're definitely going to be on Hebrews channel again this week. And then I'm going to take a few days off just to rest. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been quite busy this week.
Yeah,
Yes,
you've
I
been
have
pretty
been.
busy, Sandy.
Yes, I've been. I did a short this week. I was on Bride and Stavely's this week.
Guys,
And
help Sandy out. She's struggling just to get to what is it 1,000 you're trying to shoot for right now?
yeah, a thousand's what you
1,000
got to
subs.
get. Hmm.
And I've suggested to Sandy to do some shorts. Have you done any shorts?
Oh, I do shorts all the time, but you need 10 million views. It's to monetize your channel. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours or 10 million views on shorts. There's no chance I'm ever getting 10 million views on shorts. That's not even a thing. And that doesn't count towards the YouTube 4,000 watch hours. They're separate things. So, stupid rules on YouTube.
Yeah, guys, help Sandy out. Let's get her some subs. And Jeff, you want to mention your channel at all?
They do count. Thank you, TD Mage. Hey, Michael Fontaine. Michael Fontaine got here at the very end.
At this point, it'd be like, well, I mean, unless I have at least 100 hours, I wouldn't be able to like help you out by just like looping them or something.
No.
Which I don't think I would have enough bandwidth in my my internet provider. I don't know how much I have.
No, you don't have to worry about that. I'm definitely going to reach the 4,000 watch hours. I'm just worried about them resetting them.
Yeah.
It took like a year to get the 4,000, you know? It can set
Yeah.
you back a whole year. But that's just horrible what they do.
Yeah. Well, unless they reset it and then you quickly build it up really quickly, because now that you're getting more subscribers and getting your name out there more and doing the shorts and everything, hoping more people will go to your main channel.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that YouTube, 9 out of 10 times, they don't let you choose a thumbnail for your short. It's just random what they choose.
Yeah.
And they've been choosing the hook, the answer. Like, if you go to my Donald Duck short, the one where I show that he's yellow now sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thumbnail. Yellow Donald Duck. What's the point of watching now? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's annoying. But I
Hey,
want to say
Sandy?
something. Wait 1
I'm
second.
sorry, I'm
Michelle.
getting ready to call it a night. Thank you
I
all
know.
for coming. Have a great Mandela Effect
Brian.
night. Yeah.
Brian, I'm trying to respond to a comment. 1 second. Michelle.
Okay, but it is time to get off.
I understand, but Michelle says, now I lost it, about starting a podcast. Where did it go? She said, sounds like making money as a podcaster is not in my near future. Here's the thing.
Oh,
The
I see
longer
that.
you wait to start, the longer it's going to take. So if you want to do it, just do it. Eventually you'll get there. I promise.
Yeah.
I'll look into Ko-Fi, but I don't know. I will look into it, but I don't know if it works with StreamYard. But we will look into it. All right, now you can go, Brian. I'm sorry. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great
Thanks,
Mandela Effect night, everyone. God bless. Good night now. We'll see you
Night.
next week.
Good night, everyone.